Today is February the 5th, 2021. This is the Service Hero Show, 365 Days of Awesome. Celebrate success through service. My name is Tamara Hunter, and I am your host. This is the show where we share inspiring stories of those that are inspiring others. And this is a very special show today. So let's do this. Today, we are definitely with a service hero among service heroes. One that, yes, the set's been set a little differently today. And if you notice beyond my shoulder and beyond Stephanie's shoulder, there is a movie poster. We have Stephanie Rathje-Kinney with us today, a service hero. We are today going to make the case that she is a hero. In fact, I'm not only going to say this and start the show off, I have a friend that's here to share. So let's do this.
Hey, Richard E. Gordon, CEO Dojo. Thank you to Tamara for giving me this opportunity to honor a very special service hero. This person is like super dynamic in everything they do. And what's interesting is the beauty of a person. She likes to stay below the radar. So Stephanie is not the type to jump out and take the spotlight. She's not the type to go out and take credit. She's just the type to behind the scenes to be getting things done. She's about action. So she's always trying to help other people. She's always trying to promote causes. She's always trying to help the people who are victims or are less fortunate. And she does it without fanfare. She's definitely that person that does things without people knowing. So this is great that Tamara's taken the opportunity to put a spotlight on her. Again, which I said she doesn't really like that much, but it's necessary. You need to put that spotlight on the people that are getting things done, the people that have those big hearts for others. And again, super special person, always willing to help other people. I got to meet her initially at an event through Frank Shankwitz, and just watching that relationship, watching how she tended to Frank's needs and took care of all of his travel and his making sure he was treated right. And again, she stayed in the background. She stayed out of the spotlight because she was there to tend to his needs. And she'd always say, "Oh, I only got 5 minutes for a conversation." Stephanie, we love you. Keep doing what you do.
Thanks, Tamara.
I did tell you that sometimes it can be surprising, and truly, everyone can be a hero, wishman. And Richard has such a way with words. Richard is one of those guys like you. He's there, and he's there to protect. He's there to serve. He's there to be invisible, or he's there to show up when needed. Whatever it is that is needed at the moment, there it is. You, my dear Stephanie, service hero, you are the same. Everyone can be a hero. This is a service hero show. Yes, it is. Yet today we are honoring, in truth, two service heroes. We are honoring Stephanie, who we're going to make the case that on her own, she's truly a service hero. And then in combination, we are going to be remembering a service hero that has been shared here before and honoring the man, the wish man, the man that reminded all of us that everyone can be a hero. And so thank you, Carol Brown-Berzins, for letting us know that we are live on the E360 TV. Now, I want everybody to know that E360 TV is a platform, and you can watch it on any smart device. So please go to your app store, download E360 TV, and you can take us wherever you are and watch us on your big, big screen. Also, known as a TV, and it just has to be a smart one. And so thank you for letting us know. And Helene, first ambassador of the chat within our nonprofit that serves those that are affected by cancer. And she is our first ambassador of the chat. And thank you for welcoming the buddies and welcoming all of us. And so, wanted to give you a moment there.
I don't like surprises. I don't know.
Uh-oh. Well,
that was really nice. It was sweet. Yeah.
Well,
I love it.
Yeah. You know, exactly. I'll never forget the very first time I met him. It was a few years ago. Can I see this show on my purple pen? You know, I don't know. Is it a smart purple pen? All right, guys. So you met Frank because you were at an event and you decided to go and just kind of hang out. And here's this person that's sitting there hanging out too. And why don't you tell us about how that all happened?
Yeah. Well, it turns out he was speaking at the same event that I was in San Francisco, and turns out we're two peas in a pod. Mm-hmm. I walked over to the hotel, which is right across the street from the event, and I was invited to go out with the speakers, but I'm not one, like I said, to hang out with them. I mean, not that I don't, but I do my own thing, and I'll just go and sit at the restaurant or bar and just have a Bud Light or and eat dinner by myself. Mm-hmm. That's just the way that I've always been. And it turns out he's kind of like that too. He's not one to he's had a long day by that time, now that I know. Mm-hmm. And he came up and sat next to me at the bar in the hotel and tipped his hat. And I said, "Hello, sir." And I didn't know who he was, and I didn't know he was speaking at that time. And we introduced ourselves, and I said, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "Well, I was speaking over at the event." And I was like, "Me too." Isn't we just? I was like, "Well, what do you do?" And he said that he was the retired homicide detective. And I was like, "Oh, great, yeah, I'm in law enforcement, or was in law enforcement." And he's like, "And you might have heard of it, Make-A-Wish Foundation." I said, "Yeah, what about it?" And he's like, "Well, I'm one of the founders." And I was like, "Yeah, right." It's 1980, so I was born in 82, and it's like that. No offense, but geez, how old are you? I didn't believe it. And I was like, so I took my phone and I'm down at the corner and I'm like Googling, Make-A-Wish founder, and it was him, and I was like, oh crap, like that. And so like we just sat there and we talked forever, a couple hours actually, and then we never lost contact after that. Just we hit it off, and so he sent me a message, and we talked. Like that was our very first photo that we ever took, and of course I have to wear the hat, and I was completely honored, and he was having his little Jack and Coke. Jack and Coke is just Jack on the rocks. And geez, I don't even think I finished my beer because I think I talked so much. But he would talk to me in cop mode. He'd be like, "Hey, you 10-20?" I'd be like, "Yeah, 10-4." And he called me up a couple of weeks later, and I was stuck with him ever since, and up until the day that it ended. Yeah. And he sent me that was almost one of the very first ones that he had sent me. Like there will always be a reason why you meet people. And he always said, he's like, God put us together for a reason, and it was very heartfelt. And you don't get that side of Frank very often. Like, like one of those, I don't know. It was special.
Yeah. You too. I can say this, that you could tell that whenever you were at an event, you could always see it in the two of you, because I mean, of course, we all knew who Frank was, and Frank had such an amazing sense of being able to just be in the moment with whoever it was that he was speaking with.
Mhm.
And, you know, I don't know if it was the laser focus of being a detective, or if it was just natural to the man, or what. However, whenever he was with you, you would absolutely know he was there with you. And I really admired that. And in fact, I'm one to be, you know, like, I watch a lot, you know, one of those
Oh,
people
yeah.
that watch, right? And so, and study, and truthfully, Frank and Make-A-Wish, and that whole starting something so big, he was one of the only people that I could really relate to with what it is where I was at. So of course I was always just watching.
Mhm.
And then it got to a point where he would see me watching him, and then he would kind of wink at me, kind of like, okay, yeah, I see you watching me. I know it. And
Yeah.
and there would be that interchange until finally we had a discussion that was, I'll never forget. It was probably one of the most special moments in my whole entire life. And he had that effect on people. He had that ability. And so many of our friends, when we went live, and for anybody that doesn't know, there was a live show that we did. It was called The Tour of Love on E360 TV. And it was only a couple days after we had all heard the shocking news, because we were all just absolutely shocked. And you came on the whole time.
I did. I didn't think I'd be able to do it either. You know, it wasn't so much of a shock to me as it was to everybody, because I knew kind of what was going on every day. But I still wanted, he would make fun of me if I didn't. Like, you know, I had to step up for him. And I'm not going to turn people away, because I want to share what I've experienced and what I know about him so personally that a lot of people don't know, or emotionally. You know, a lot of people don't see that side of Frank ever. So I have so many things that I could say, and I've been saying them. But yeah, I was happy to jump on. It was emotional. But you know, I try to stay strong and keep moving ahead.
You said it too, I think, on air, and that was, Frank would say, "Get back up on the horse."
Yeah. Well, it was in December when he had fell, and he thought he, like, I don't know, not broke his ribs, but he thought he ruptured like a kidney or something. And he's like, and so he was bedridden, and he hated it, and he hated being in the hospitals. He hated it. He would avoid it at all costs until he was forced to go. And so, you know, it's like, he'd call, or not call, because if he was going to call me, I knew that he had something that he was going to tell me that I probably either wanted to hear or didn't want to hear.
Yeah, okay.
I was like, oh, great, boss is calling. Like, yeah, I was calling boss, or, you know, 1091. And so when we always message through Facebook every day. And so he's just texting me like this huge, long written, he's just griping and mad and get me out of these MASH tents, and I'm having to go to an outhouse and I can't see it, whatever. And he's like, I need to get back on the horse. I have a couple, you know, speaking gigs that are coming up in January and February. And I was like, you're going to get back on this horse. And just like any other horse that you fell off of, you know, you're the man with 10 lives, you know, like you don't settle, and you're not going to give up. And he doesn't give up very easily.
And that's one of the things that I'm so thrilled that his story was told in the book and as part of the movie Wishman, you know, his story. Now, I know that that it was, the movie is based on his story. And we need to make that clear because not all of the movie is actually word for word his life, correct?
Yeah, but most of it is. He always quoted that it's based on a true story, but it's more true than not true, you know? Yeah,
Okay.
that was one of the big things is he wanted to be a part of every bit of that movie and to make sure that it was told the way that it's supposed to, and instead of some, made up story, So
And the story and so you are here too on set, right?
Yeah.
This is on set. And who is it that you're hugging?
Oh, well, that's Michael. He plays Michael in the movie. I loved him. He's such a sweet kid. Gosh, what is his real name? Can't even think of it right now. Let me turn around. No, I can't even see it on there. I can't remember his name. Oh gosh. Anyways, yeah, and then you have Mark Gold, and then what is his name? It's driving me nuts. I gotta find out.
Okay. We'll Google it. And were you on set as much as Frank was? Because I remember that
Christian. Thank you.
Christian.
I wanted to say Chris, which is odd because Chris is a real 7-year-old that inspired and started. However, yes, and Christian and Christian's dad. So yeah, that was Christian's dad behind us.
Okay, which one? The one that's going like this?
Yeah, Mark Gold, who's got the hat on, right behind me, and then Christian, and then Christian's dad, and then Frankie.
Okay, yeah. All right. And so you actually, because of where you are, you're in Iowa. Now, you found Chris, the real Christopher or Chris. You found his grave, and Frank hadn't been there for a few days, right?
No. Yeah. Okay. So I'm sure there's been almost 13,000 views now on YouTube on that video that I posted about 2 years ago when I first initially took Frank to see, to go back. And Chris is buried in Kewanee, Illinois, which is about an hour and 15 minutes away from me.
Okay.
And it's just crazy. It's such a small world when we say that. It's legit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I decided, Frank and I first met on Veterans Day, which he's obviously a vet as well. And so every Veterans Day, I go and visit Chris and put on new flowers and, tidy it up. However, Frank was coming in January or February to Iowa. I got him a gig here in Iowa. And so I thought I'd surprise him and go on Veterans Day before he got here because I didn't know if there was going to be snow because you never know in Iowa. It's bipolar. You just don't. And luckily I did because there was obviously a ton of snow. So I wanted to be able to go and locate it just to know in my mind where it's going to be. And that way when I brought Frank that we could just go there. And so when I sent him photos on Veterans Day, I was like, look who I found. And it blew him away. He's like, oh my gosh. He's like, this is super. I don't even know what to say. And he posted it on Facebook. I mean, if you went back to his post, it was just this long, that I went on my way to do this. And I was like, that's really nothing. I mean, but it was on his bucket list to go back and revisit Chris. Because he hadn't been back since 1980, since he initially buried him. And so I have a story about that. So what was
go ahead.
Is that when I first went to the grave, there was a guy parked above, and he was by himself, and he's like walking, and he comes over and he's like, can I help you find something? And I'm like, oh no, I'm just looking for Chris Gracious. And he's like, oh, Bubblegum Trooper. He says that to me, and I'm like, how do you know that they call him Bubblegum Trooper? Because his mom wrote a book because he always loved to chew gum. Chris always chewed gum. And so Frank called him Bubblegum Trooper. And so it's like I said, his mom wrote a book about it. And I was like, how do you know? And he goes, well, I was here when they buried him. And I was like, talk about goosebumps.
Whoa.
I know. And so it ended up being the director of the cemetery or something. I was like, what? I was like, what are the odds?
Okay, I have major goosebumps, guys. Major goosebumps. That
seriously. And I was like, wow. I'm like, well, I managed the founder. And he's like, yeah, I was here when they buried him. And, you know, he's saying his mom was there to visit a couple years ago. And I was like, this is insane. Like, that is not a coincidence, is it? I mean, I don't know, but it's so crazy.
No, because you think about how many years and the fact that then he was there, he had to have been a part of the whole process. Here is this little boy that is an actual officer because they had you know, made him one in that wish, that first one granted. And so then he had to have been there when Frank was. Did Frank actually go to the burial?
Yeah.
Okay, he did. All right. I actually had that clip.
And see, on his way there, he ended up getting a rental car, which was like a Jeep or something, and he ended up getting pulled over by an Illinois state trooper on the way to, because they were late. And so they ended up having a police escort. And it was really cool. I mean, how that
is cool. That is cool. Well, I remember reading in the book about how at one place there was the escort, and then it was like, then it just continued as they were going state to state to state. And that was I mean, if you guys haven't read the book, you need to read the book. The book, I couldn't put it down when I got it. And now I've read it a few times, and I have this clip because I'm sure everybody's now, okay, I want to see the clip. It's such a touching moment.
It is.
It is a touching moment.
Wait for some more people to get in here. I have some really, really awesome news. I'm currently with Frank. He's here in Iowa. And with the bad weather that we're going to be getting here in the next 24 hours, we decided to come visit Chris, the 7-year-old boy that inspired him to start the foundation in Kewanee after 37 years. So this is the first time that Frank has been back to the burial where it inspired him to create the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So after some digging and cold, freezing, I did find him, and I just want you all to see for the first time after almost 38 years, the man himself, shall I say. Let's see if I can turn this around. Okay, here he is. Well,
kind of emotional here. Almost 39 years later that we buried this little boy who was the inspiration to start the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And we're in Kewanee, Illinois, and so amazing. They're Illinois state troopers that were coming over here. We were kind of lost. And this is in 1980. And they led us to the cemetery, they led us to the funeral home, and they helped us with a full police funeral honoring this little boy, the first and only honorary state trooper in the history of the Arizona Highway Patrol, Patrolman Christopher James Gracious. And it's just real emotional for me to visit this as we help bury this little boy. And his dream was to be a motorcycle officer, and we made that come true.
oh, he brought the
So we're
wings.
putting the wings and our patch and just that as a reminder. And I'm sure now he would have been promoted to a detective. So that's why I put the detective badge here. But
wow, it's been a long time.
I want to salute my little trooper. Just thank you so much for what you've done to the children. Over 415,000 children have wishes because of this young boy right here.
Everybody, yeah, that's amazing. right. Well, it's freezing here.
Yeah.
He will be speaking at the Wild Rose on Sunday at 3 o'clock from 3 to 5. So if you can, get in and listen to his story. Clearly it's amazing. So he's really taking it all in. It took me almost falling on my butt to find him. But we did before the snow comes. That's for sure.
Still filming?
Yes, sir.
I can't see my camera.
I can take some for you. We're heading to be on Paula Sands Live, so listen in if you guys can around 3:30. And we'll see you then. We'll see you Sunday. Thanks for listening and sharing this moment with us, huh? Yeah, it's exciting. Bye.
I still, when I see that, I see so much of the humanness of Frank with honoring the little trooper, you know, and how he was honoring him in such a way of allowing for his where he would have gone in his career.
Yeah.
And that to me says so much too, that mentor of who so many knew of him, that was always wanted to see what was best in someone's life, is what, you know, at least that's what I noticed. And then the interaction between the two of you, that right there too, how precious, how special. And you with understanding the police, you know, the numbers and everything. I mean, you've been in that world, you are in that world, or you have a association in, and we're going to be talking about this in just a little bit, guys, because wishes, there's a bunch of different ways of looking at wishes, and I want to put it out there in a few moments about the fact that not only did Frank, as a co-founder, help to find one of the best nonprofits that's made a difference to help people that have kids originally, people now that were affected in some type of a way now. However, in the past it was with cancer, to make a wish, to have a wish, their wish comes true. And in this case, Christopher played, the character was Michael, for anybody that watches the movie. He was the only one that was actually granted to become an actual trooper or officer, correct?
Yeah, he was the first and only honorary.
Yeah. So such a huge, and you know, that clip, incredible. And something that Helene is saying, he is an angel and still granting wishes.
I do believe that. That's for sure. Like I said, after we left there, it was probably one of the first most memorable. I mean, obviously it was incredible all around, but I mean, I knew how much it meant to him because, one, it was on his bucket list. I was able to cross off a couple for him during our years together. But that one specifically was very, we're driving to Paula Sands Live to do this TV show, and it was quiet, and I'm letting him just soak it all in. And he grabs my hand and just holds it, and thank you, Stephanie, so much. That meant so much to me. And I was just like, to me, that's priceless. I mean, that's obviously, you can do awesome, amazing, incredible things, and it doesn't cost money. You just have to listen to people and listen to their needs and wants and what they, can do to make somebody else's day better, And so I just knew how much it meant to him just by him just making that little gesture towards me, like grabbing my hand, because I was like, I'm driving. I'm like, what's that, boss? And he just grabs it and holds it, and I'm just like, you're welcome. you know.
And you guys, I mean, okay, you guys had a great relationship, right? I mean,
Oh yeah.
and you guys had some fun too.
Oh my gosh, he loved these photos. He just had a blast with these. I mean, I'd always give him the look at this. Always give him funny things. Or when you piss me off. Look what happened. Get back here.
You know, and what fun.
We did. We had a lot of fun.
Priceless. And you know, even here, I mean, you think about this. Okay, so you were on the movie set.
Yeah.
And then they roped you into doing something, right?
I said, I'm like, you're lucky I love you. Like, you want me to be on what? You want me to do what? No, I'm here. Like, I'm supervisor. And like I said, it's the most boringest thing ever to watch a movie being produced or made, because you're doing take after take and doing different, you know, angles. And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm bored, you know. But so yeah, he was I was asked to be an extra in the movie, and I'm like, no, like I can't be. I gotta have fun with it.
So you did.
She was just cracking up at me. She could not. She's like, oh my gosh, Stephanie.
And who is she?
I know. So I was like, you want me to be in a movie? I said, I'm not going to pretend to be somebody that I'm not, boss. I'm sorry. You want me to go in? And he knows that I have like no filter. And so I was like, yeah, all right, I'll be in one. He's like 2. And I was like, now you're pushing it. But of course I was, he always tried to make me a part of everything. He never made me feel left out, or not that I wanted, you know, like, I don't look for that attention. I'm looking at myself talking or being on video ever. Right. And he's the same way.
Yeah.
But, you know, I knew how much this meant to him. So right. Of course I want to be a part of it. And, you know, I love him for that. You know, he always made me feel like it wasn't just him in the spotlight, even though I wanted him to be, he deserved to be, but he didn't look at himself like that. You know, he just selfless. And that's how I feel like I am too.
Yeah.
More so than anything.
And so I actually, after our time together on that Sunday show, I actually rewatched it to see where you were. I was like, okay, I'm going to find her. And the one where you're wearing, you know, this one, it's a little harder to find, though I did find where you were.
Yeah, I did too. So there's one when they're more towards the end of the movie.
Right.
And I'm coming up to the bar scene because, you know, his partner's trying to talk him into going to this other place to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You just had to watch the movie for that. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then then I'm in another one.
Yeah. Well, okay. I do have, and we don't have to watch the whole thing, but I do have the other one. I just actually kind of, so it's only a little clip where it's kind of like filmed in. You guys see the marks and everything. However, it's the speech where, I mean, that speech is incredible.
Where he's talking about
at dinner. And I have that here, and it's just a little rough, guys. However, also look for Stephanie.
Or not.
Or not. You're so cute, though. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
It's nice to think that you're all here for me. But then I remembered it's an open bar. So, now I'm not a man for speeches, but I got the floor, so I might as well say something. Now, I've been a fighter all my life. And I'm tired of not knowing what to fight for. Ever since I was a kid, I've always been on my own. You know, I never had any reason to care about anyone else. Until now. But now I'm at a crossroads in my life, and I'm choosing which path to take. This year, I met a young man who taught me what it is to be brave. And I was not expecting that. Being special to someone was never something that I was used to. But Michael thought I was a hero. Now, if I can do it, anyone can be a hero. I'm looking for a new path of hope, dreams, and everything that's good in this world. A great man once told me that if somebody needs help, give it to them. Now, I never thought that I could make a difference. I was wrong. I've seen it. A simple act of kindness can have a ripple effect. And we helped Michael. And now, with your support, we can help other kids all over the world, one wish at a time. Because I'm starting a nonprofit.
What? No, wait. Are you quitting, Frank?
You shitting me? I just made detective.
Good.
I just found something new to fight for. Here's my idea. We create a foundation that acts like a kind of genie. We find other kids like Michael. They tell us their wish and we make them come true. Now, even if it's just for one day, I'll be damned if we don't give them a day of their lives. Now, according to the Arizona Corporation Commission, we need 5 members to make this happen. That's my signature at the top. Who's with me? Who's that? What? No. I mean,
Wow. So, what are you going to call it?
Bye-bye. Hello. Yeah, can you just give me 1 minute? Thank you. Hello. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we will be right with you. Absolutely.
Frank Shankwitz, go ahead. Make a wish.
And there they are, the two of them. Beautiful.
Yeah.
The night of the premiere in Hollywood.
Yes, that was so great.
Such a beautiful evening, such an incredible event, such something that all of us that were there will never forget the magic. And in that clip that, okay, guys, did you see her? Next time you watch this, look to the right. Look to the right. Look to the right at the end of the table. And so it gets me every time when at the end, you know, the restaurateur, when he comes up and he, you know, raises his hand, and then at the event in Hollywood again, I mean, when he was there, I don't know that there was a dry eye in the house when the fact that he was there, the whole interchange. And if you guys have not seen the movie, you've got to watch it, because we really can have a ripple effect on people. And this is about ripple effects, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You know, like I said, I knew his speech word for word.
Right.
And I knew when people were going to laugh in the audience, and I knew when people were going to cry in the audience. And so I was saying, like, when Frank and I finally got to sit and watch the movie for the first time, And he's sitting next to me, and I'm like, okay. So now we finally get to see it all come together. And so it's exciting. And there was only a selected few that were able to, watch this with us. And to share that moment with him as well was extremely emotional. Just because I knew.
Okay, guys, let me know if she's frozen for you, because she's frozen for me right now. And I'm waiting to see if anybody will let me know if she's frozen for you. All right, I'm going to take down from the line and bring her back up. Hopefully, okay, she'll come back in. I'm sure she'll come back in. And in the meantime, we are about to go into really what is it that Stephanie, what is it that she's doing? And I was mentioning wishes and wishes of children. And I'm really hoping that she'll arrive here in just a few moments so we can really go into this, because the work that she's doing right now is so relevant. And the good news is that when Make-A-Wish was founded in the early 1980s, if you go back and look at the numbers of the children, okay, yes, she's frozen. Okay. The ripple effect, yes. And Kristen, I remember, such a nice night, right? What an incredible night that was. And so the ripple effect, and back in the early 80s, the rate of children making it through a lot of the cancers that were childhood cancers, the numbers were not good, guys. They were not good. Now, because of breakthroughs and so many things, they're so much better. They're so much better. That's the good news. There's a new front out there. There's a new front that we need to be aware of. And hopefully she'll be joining me here shortly. And what we need to be aware of is that too many people, not only children, people, are experiencing human trafficking issues. And Stephanie is very involved with TaskForce, and she has an investigation service. She helps with missing people. She helps with and I want to get this right, the internet crime against children. She's on different task force, and she's right in there. You want her on your side. She is a service hero in her own right for what she is doing and where her passion leads her. And then she's on boards that are about different boards, on boards of directors for missing people network, and an association of private eyes. And the work is relevant right now. We know, oh, here she is. Yay. Okay. Yay, you're
Sorry
back.
about that. I don't know what happened.
You know what? It's okay, because I know that the weather is, you've got
Yes.
quite a bit of weather where you are, and that can sometimes
Going back and forth.
really create problems. And
Yes.
so I wanted to wrap it around now, because the way I see this, Stephanie, and we were talking about there's no coincidences, and then you met each other, you're able to talk each other's language.
Mhm.
And then what is it that the first wish was granted to a trooper, to be a trooper?
Yeah.
You are involved right now in an area that we need. And I bet you anything, and this is where I was going, and I want to get through this without tears myself. And that is, we have too many people and too many children out there that are wishing for safety and wishing to be found and wishing to be saved and wishing that they will be able to be free and taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, thank goodness for Make-A-Wish for those that have, with diseases, and they've evolved it so much since the original mission, and they're serving so many more. Yet now, our new plight, our new disease, if you will, is one that is more on the law enforcement side, of which how this started with Make-A-Wish.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about it, chips.
Yeah.
Christopher wanted to be like Chips.
Yep.
He wanted to be a motorcycle coach. Yes. Yeah. And now, no accident, right? No accidents when all of this. So now you going forward, you're serving in these roles and helping with as a private investigator and having an organization, a business, C.R.O.W.N, and it's an acronym. What does it stand for? C.R.O.W.N.
Oh, it sounds crimes revolving outside world norms.
Oh, that's good.
I know.
Like that. That's good.
James Haven, which is Angelina Jolie's brother, who's a good friend of mine, he helped me come up with my business name because I was like, I don't want it to be like Kinney Investigation. Like, help me. And he and C.R.O.W.N also means Stephanie. So I was like, oh, good job.
Wow.
And
I love it.
He's big into law enforcement and loves like to save and help kids, and he's lovely. So that's what I've named it. And I started it, after the movie because I think we were both going to take a break, and I wanted to still feel like us not traveling. I still want to have that feeling of purpose and passion. Like I needed to feel like I was doing something that was good, and just have that same feeling to when I felt like when we were out meeting Wish kids or going to events and stuff, because, I come back home and it's like, like this, I don't feel the same way as if I do when I'm there. So I wanted to feel the same way and help and, my expertise. And, I didn't want to go back and patrol or anything like that. I was an investigator and I specifically, focused on things that weren't always focused on, or they don't have resources that can be focused on, or the attention that needs to be given to one specific case, specializing in missing persons. I mean, you don't have to wait 24 to 48 hours to get a hold of me if somebody goes missing. It's right now, and I don't care if they think it's a runaway situation, because not every, situation is like that. Mm-hmm. You have to take it all serious. So I started it up and I'm still at it. I'm amongst other things.
Right.
I'm involved in a lot of other things, with human trafficking and human trafficking educator now, and just keep doing. And now I'm going to do my best to carry on the legacy of what my partner wanted us to do. And that will happen.
And I have no doubt. And all you need to do is say, hey, help. And there will be so many people running to help make it happen, because that is what it's all about, guys. And so you just recently, I wanted to say, because it's 2021, you just recently were, it says training, interviewed for National Center of Missing and Exploited Children. That's huge.
Team Adam. So position. It's not like a full-time position, but I mean, they have so many Team Adams, is what they call them, in the different regions of states, various states. And there's only one other person in our region that is qualified and went through the training for NCMEC. And like I said, it's been over a year. And I get this email and they're like, would you still be interested in interviewing for the position for Team Adam? Because, that's John Walsh's kid, Adam, who was found.
Right. Another excellent movie,
Yes.
older movie, but it's still, oh my goodness, it's relevant.
Oh
my goodness.
And so I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. And it went fantastic. I won't know if I get it until like March 1st, but I mean, just say somewhere 4 hours from my area, or if I specialize in something, they could, they call me at 2:30 in the morning. I'm shipped out to go help and investigate this case, whether it be current or cold. And so, and I love doing that. And that's just something that I hope I get it. But it's not meant to be, but I have plenty of my own stuff to do, but I just keep getting myself more and more involved. And then why am I working so hard? Why am I overloading myself with so much stuff? But I would complain if I didn't have it. I complain when I have too much, and I complain if I don't have enough. So then I keep more and more and more. And it's just something that I find fulfilling. And it's all about helping others for me. So when somebody asks me something, or if something's focused on me, like, Steph, what's your hobbies? I was like, I don't even know. I don't know. You're talking about me? Why are you talking to me? I'm talking about you,
Right.
So it's just one of those things.
That's why Richard, that's why I really wanted that to set the stage for who it is that you are, because you're that one that will help others shine. You're that one that's going to go and help find, get on that case. You're the one. It's just like you said, I'll protect you. And that you're that one, and you deserve. Guys, that's why today we are honoring Stephanie, as well as remembering Frank and the wish man, Frank Shankwitz. However, we are honoring Stephanie Kinney today for the work that she did as the partner in crime with Frank Shankwitz, and as his manager, as his timekeeper, as his scheduler, as everything, finding Christopher's grave, all of the above, and helping to make wishes come true too. And you witnessed Frank's wish come true. And you've talked to so many, I'm sure, or at least heard the stories when he was talking to, because the different wish kids, and the way he would, oh my goodness, precious.
It's something that I'm so grateful that I've experienced. And like I said, I grew up in a town of 200. And like, things just like that don't happen unless you put yourself out there. And
you did.
I'm afraid to do that.
And you are, and you're making a difference. And I do have to share this because, many times, we're about the home fires burning and everything like this. Guys, beautiful, gorgeous. And, when I looked at these pictures of you and your beautiful daughter, your wonderful husband, and your cute little dog.
Yeah.
This is really when it goes back to what it is that you're doing to help unite families, to help unite kids with their their parents, help to unite whoever it is that's missing, whoever it is that's missing. This is why there's always going to be a reason why that first responder, why that hero, why we as each of us, remember, guys, what it is that Frank and the Wishman, and what they would always say, the tag was that, and here it is, that everyone can be a hero. Everyone can be a hero. And the legacy that you were working on with Frank and the two of you was called After the Wish, right?
Yeah. So Frank and I were sitting in the lobby one day, and, you know, I had kind of mentioned something about we're part of these nonprofits and we're on the boards of so many nonprofits. Why wouldn't you start your own again? Like, I mean, you know how to do it. And he's like, well, I'll start it. You run it. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to. So I was like, well, like, you grant these wishes to all these wish kids, and that's great. And they're
Okay. We may be having problems again. And want to recognize everybody that is commenting. And thank you for sharing. You guys. Okay, here you are. Okay.
What is going on? Anyway, so yeah, you always hear of these. They always remember it for the rest of their lives. They don't forget it, whether they're 4 or they're 40 and they're a wish kid.
Yeah.
And so after their wish, though, they still need help.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so we decided that we wanted to work together and collaborate with another outfit called After the Wish. And we did buy the domain and everything, and we have never done anything with it. I started working on it a little bit last spring, and then my business took off. You know, I was in Des Moines for almost 6 months on a missing person case. I pulled him from the river in May. But so it kind of got put aside, but it's still it's mine. It's ours. Like we bought it, we went together on it. And so that's one of the things that I will go back to focusing on and carrying on his legacy and things that we decided and we talked about doing together for After the Wish, because there's still families that need help, and there's still kids that need help even after their wish.
Absolutely.
You know, so I would be hoping to team up with Make-A-Wish, so after their wish that we get,
thank you.
You know, everything after that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, buddies, you guys, this is going to be, it's so needed, and it's another area right now that is somewhat, void. We need that, because you can help, like what we're doing with buddies. That's to help with the socialization and help with the community. However, there's so many needs. There are so many needs of these families and those people that are affected, that are granted the wish, they're vetted, all of this is done through Make-A-Wish. And so to then be able to then pass it off, and so that then they can get to that safe place. They can get to that place where the healing is really taking place, because they're not stressed about the stuff that they don't need to be stressed about. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And we need to close now. And I told you guys that in this hour, we would make the case that Stephanie is definitely a service hero, and we would remember and honor Frank Shankwitz, a true service hero, a true hero. Thank you for being here with us today, Stephanie.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And thank you for being the service hero that you are. You are a hero. You are.
I don't look at myself like that, though.
It's okay. But we can say it to you.
Okay.
And we are, with a lot of love. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, guys. See you guys on Monday.